Hi, this is Jason at Royal Pools and Spas, and today we're going to be talking about some pool maintenance. One of the more important aspects of pool maintenance is vacuuming your pool, getting out any debris that might be floating around the bottom that's not being trapped by your skimmer. There are going to be some tools that you need in order to make this project go smoothly. You're going to need a extension pole. They come in many different sizes. We sell them. We'll find one that fits your pool size perfectly. You're going to need a vacuum head like you see at the bottom of our pole here, as well as a hose that's going to fit the length of your pool. These guys come in many different sizes. So again, once we find out what pool size you have, we'll be able to size you up with the vacuum hose that fits your needs best. All right, so after we've gathered all of our materials that we need, we're going to start off by taking our hose and attach it to the vacuum head. You're going to look for the side that swivels, the one that spins. You're just going to take it, push it straight downwards onto your vacuum head. From there, we're going to get this guy in the water. Pick it up and over, and it's going to want to float on you. That's okay. It helps if you have a second person to kind of make the process a little bit easier, but you're just going to get as much of the hose and all of the hose into the water. And there's a very specific way that we want to make sure that we get all the air out of the lines, make sure that we don't have an airlock situation and a loss of suction. All right, awesome. So now that that is in there, we're just going to remove our skimmer lid and basket. And the next step is going to be, our vacuum hose is all the way over there. Well, I guess it's coming. We just need to be a little bit patient. Something that Jason's not very good at. Come here, buddy. Come here. All right. Well, we're going to have to help it along a little bit here. Cool. All right. I think we're good here. Yeah? All right. Perfect. So now that we got our hose into the pool, we're actually going to keep it in the pool the entire time. We're going to take that end that's not attached to the vacuum head, and we're going to push it right against the return. Now, if you look at the actual vacuum head in the water here, you should start to see bubbles coming up. That means that we are getting all of that extra air out of the lines, and we should avoid an airlock situation. When we stop seeing bubbles coming up, it's usually a pretty good indication that we are good to go. From here, it's super important. We are not going to let this come back above the water line. We're going to come straight through our skimmer, right down into the skimmer hole. And it just suctions right into place. All right. Great. If you have a Doughboy pool with the deluxe skimmer, vacuuming is slightly different, but the same premise. You're going to want to make sure you have one of these little adapter pieces. On your deluxe skimmer, there's going to be a hole right below your skimmer opening. You're just going to plug that right into that hole. And you're going to take your lid off of your skimmer, and it's actually going to go underneath the weir door. And it's going to suction right down and in. That's going to allow for suction to be happening through that little adapter piece that we just had. So again, we blow out the air from the lines. You can see the bubbles. Keep it under the water line. Plug it into that adapter piece. Nice and smooth. And there you go. From there, you should have suction coming through your pole. Extend it out to the length that you need. Let's go right about there. I think that works. And you're just going to go slowly. Remember, there are brushes on your triangular vacuum head. So if you end up pushing this too hard, you'll end up just pushing all of that debris around your pool rather than vacuuming it up. And hopefully you'll be able to see some of that debris in the center will just start to disappear. It's sucked up into the vacuum system, the filtration system. And before long, we will have a nice, clean, clear pool. In this instance, we got some pretty big leaves at the bottom, so you might have to pick your vacuum head up off the floor a little bit, just for a moment, so that the leaves can get sucked up in there. Any big leaves that aren't being captured, you might have to take a leaf net on the end of your pole. This form of vacuuming puts any debris that you are grabbing off the bottom into your filter system. So more than likely after you're done with this, you'll have to shut the pump off and empty your pump basket, any debris that might have accumulated in there. And you may need to backwash as well. And just go nice and slow around the pool. Some of those bigger leaves have been brushed back up into the water. At this point, there's not a whole lot we can do with a vacuum to get those, like I mentioned earlier. We can just use a leaf net to get those guys out. It's important to get leaves out of your pool because they help to feed any algae growth that might happen throughout the course of the season. So by getting the leaves out, it takes away a food source for that algae to grow. After you're done vacuuming, super simple. Just pull the hose out of there. Doesn't need to stay underneath the water line anymore. It's done its job. We're just going to disconnect our hose. Just leave it in the water. We're going to disconnect our fitting. Put that right up on the side. And remember, before you just start yanking on that skimmer lid to remove it from the housing, you're going to want to shut off your pump because that'll help you release suction into the skimmer itself and just allow you to take that skimmer lid off nice and easy. You can pull the whole fixture out of the pool now. Make life a little bit easy for yourself. Unattach the hose from the vacuum head. And then just slowly let the water stay in the pool by slowly taking it out. Great. You can leave the hose out in your yard for it to dry before you put it away. Remember to put your filter basket and any chemical products you might have in your filter basket back in. Right. Pop this right back in. Throw your chemicals back in place. Throw your top on. Rinse off those hands. Congratulations, you got a nice clean pool. All right, thanks for hanging out with me today and learning how to vacuum our pools. Looking forward to seeing you at the store soon.